is a door, which is the escape hatch for the aircraft, for all the aircrew to try and get out of. The bomb sight is in front there, and that is connected to a small case like this, and there's an example of it at the back of the museum called a bomb computer, and so that drives the information for the bomb sight. So it basically tells the bomb aimer when to drop the bomb.
Yeah.
And on the right hand side is the bomb panel, which is a time selector or a sequence selector. Then you've got the pilot in this position, the flight engineer in this position, and the pilot's panel is split into two effectively by their function. On this side belongs to the pilot, and on this side it belongs to the flight engineer. So this is all to do with the engines, and this is just to do with flying. Now this panel has all these 6 instruments in the same place on every RAF aircraft. So it's the same panel on every RAF aircraft. So even though on different planes, the only thing that did change is the airspeed indicator. So for a slower aircraft, there's a different dial in there for the speed. So like a Mosquito would be one with the fastest speed on it, and something like the Anson next door there would have the slowest speed on it.
Yeah.
And so they all perform the same function in the same place on every aircraft. So these are the ignition switches for the engines. Each engine has 2 magnetos. The engine start button is under here, so when you press this button, the propeller turns around and the engine should cough into life. Each engine has a supercharger on it, which forces air into the carburettor, and that shows you the pressure of the boost of the supercharger. This is the speed of the engines, and they rev at a maximum of 3,000 RPM.
Do you reckon if this plane was still like all together now, it could still fly, or is it a bit past its time?
No, it's past its time.
Is it, do you reckon?
So then you've got throttles, pitch control levers for the propellers. It's a variable pitch, constant speed propeller system. So this changes the angle of the propeller blade in the air. Fuel cut-off switches, fire extinguisher buttons under there. Over in the corner you've got a magnetic compass, and this is a beacon receiver, so there's an ADF aerial which tracks that beacon. You've got a repeater compass, which is driven by a master gyroscopic compass in the back of the aeroplane away from the engine's metal. Over there you've got the intercom system for the crew, and the little levers for the brakes on the aircraft on the main wheels, and then you've got trim control wheels for the various flight control systems on the airplane. So you've got the elevators, aileron and rudder, and that basically trims the handling of it, so you can trim the rudder so that the rudder pedals are together and not separated. If you've got a crosswind, you've got one foot up, one foot down, so you want to minimise that and bring the 2 pedals together. So you would do that with one of these wheels. Radio receiver system with an oscilloscope, and that they have signals on there, and they turn the dial so that the signals stay static, and they're able to measure the distance of the signals and correlate that to where they would be on a map. And there's also what they call a ground position indicator, and the one down there to the left is an air position indicator. That also helps with the navigation. And the navigator's also got the same instruments as the pilot. He's got a compass, an airspeed indicator, a clock and altimeter, along with his little map lamp which turns on